On this channel, I've produced videos and provided evidence that shows how destructive dogs are and how destructive dog love or dog worship is. I've talked about how people are diverting their time, energy, resources, money, and affection away from children, away from humans, and showering it all on dogs instead, and how this is resulting in an entire generation that is messed up beyond measure. Kids are killing themselves in record numbers. They are suffering from psychiatric issues. They lack common sense. They lack empathy. They lack social skills. It's a mess. And these are the kids that are growing up to run the show. And that's why our society is going down the toilet. I have talked about how dogs transmit zoonotic diseases to us through their untreated waste. Even if you pick up your dog's crap, there are always traces left behind which can infect you or your loved ones with parasites that can render you blind, permanently disable you, or kill you. Dogs are transmitting zoonotic diseases through their saliva. They're bringing ticks into our homes, which are infecting us with very serious illnesses. I've talked about how dogs are harassing and killing wildlife, driving many species to extinction. They are harassing and killing domestic animals. I've talked about how dogs are driving us crazy and ruining our health with their barking. I've talked about how dog ownership breeds violence, how dogs are polluting our water, they're killing our grass, killing our trees. I've talked about dog attacks. I've talked about how it's a myth that only dogs that are mistreated or raised by shitty owners or dogs that were not trained or dogs that were trained to be vicious are the dogs that attack. It's not true. Dogs that were loved and raised in loving homes and treated as cherished family members are attacking, disfiguring, and killing people on a regular basis. In unprovoked attacks, where the people were minding their own business, paying no attention to the dog. I've talked about the dog's predatory instincts. They attack because they see people, usually children or the elderly, making sudden movements or sounds that sound like wounded prey animals. This triggers their predatory instincts. I've talked about so many different things on this channel that show how dogs are destructive and how dog love is destructive. But I have not yet talked about how dogs are destroying our relationships. It blows my mind out of this world that people will put a dog above another human being. If a partner won't get rid of their dog for you, they don't actually love you. This is an extremely unpopular opinion, but it is 100% true. I have found all these screenshots on the Reddit Dog Free website, which I will link you to in the description. But you can go there for yourself, and I urge you to read through the posts. Look for the relationship/family flair, I think they call it, topic. It's highlighted in this bluish periwinkle color. And read through all the stories. It is so incredibly sad and unbelievable to me that when people have an issue with the dog, when the dog is driving them crazy and seriously affecting their mental health, that their loving partner, their romantic partner, won't consider getting rid of the dog or will fight with them about getting rid of the dog, that it will even be an issue. This is unbelievable to me. Now, I made a video called When New Mothers Start Hating Their Dogs. I talked about my own experience, how I went from a dog lover to a dog loather within just a few months after I became pregnant. I talked about how extremely common this is for women to change their feelings about dogs and to be just desperate to get the dog out of the house because the dog is driving them crazy, absolutely crazy. It's making them feel anxious, depressed, angry. It's affecting their relationship with their children because they're so on edge and upset about the dog. And anybody in their right mind would say, oh gosh, this dog is causing so much distress, let's get rid of it. When I told my husband that I wanted to get rid of the dog, there was no issue whatsoever. He was like, all right. And we got rid of the thing. What is up with these people who raise a stink and start fighting with their spouse or their partner about it? This is not love. If you love your spouse or your partner, you will not hesitate to get that animal out of the house. I've read stories about how the dog is showing aggression towards their newborn babies. And still, these dog worshipping fanatics are objecting to getting rid of the dog. Can you believe this? I can't believe it. It's unbelievable to me. Or people who have allergies. They're going to say that the dog is more important than their loved one who is suffering, who can't breathe, who's sick. This is not love. You do not love your partner if you're going to hesitate to get rid of the dog. First of all, these people are completely brainwashed into believing their dogs love them. Like I said, dogs do not love. Watch my videos about that. The behaviors people believe indicate love are not love at all. They're just food-seeking behaviors. But because of all the pet industry propaganda we are bombarded with every day, and because of all the brainwashing we are subjected to from the day we are born, people believe dogs love us, that they love us unconditionally. It is all garbage. It's complete trash. Dogs only wag their tails and are excited to see you because you are their food dispenser. That's it. And the only reason they lick you is because they're trying to gather information from you, to find out where you've been and so forth. And also because they're trying to make you vomit so that they can eat your vomit. This is a remnant of juvenile wolf behavior. Anyways, it's incredibly sad to read about how dogs are destroying relationships and even preventing people from finding what could be their soulmate. I've been married now for 16 years. I'm not in the dating game, but I hear from people who are. And I hear that on all of these online dating sites, people are posting pictures of dogs on their profiles. In some cases, the only picture on their profile is a dog. There is no other photo. And they're making it obvious, very clear, that they are looking for a partner who loves dogs. And that if a person doesn't love dogs, they should not even bother trying to get in touch with them. To write off a person as a potential partner because they don't love the same animal you do is crazy. Could you imagine someone posting, oh, unless you love chameleons, don't get in touch with me? Rejecting you because you don't like barracudas or porcupines? This is mental, absolutely crazy. And yet, this has become the new normal. It's mind-boggling. The fact that a person does not like dogs does not mean they are not loving. In fact, it's the opposite. If you are a loving person, then you will wish to protect your offspring from an unpredictable, fanged, bloodthirsty predator that would not hesitate to kill you, to kill your offspring, because your child made a sudden movement or made a sound that sounded like a prey animal in distress. That's what triggers these dogs with a high prey drive to attack. And these nut jobs will blame the child, say the child provoked the dog, even if the child was playing in his or her yard, minding his or her own business, still somehow they make it the child's fault, or it's the owner's fault, when there's absolutely no evidence that the owner abused the dog or mistreated the dog. I've talked about all these things on my channel. It's crazy. These people are nuts. But if you are a loving person, you will wish to protect your child from that possibility. You will not play Russian roulette with the lives of your children. You will not wish for other people to play Russian roulette with their children's lives. You will realize that dogs are ticking time bombs. All dogs, even those dogs that were raised with love and treated as cherished family members, because those are usually the dogs that end up attacking unprovoked. Any informed, kind, compassionate person will hate dogs because they will see dogs for what they are. Maybe they just have hygiene standards. Maybe they have some background in medicine and they are aware of parasitic infections and how they are spread through dogs' waste, and how serious these infections can be, how they can lead to blindness and so forth. Maybe they are aware of all the horrible viral and bacterial diseases we can catch from dogs and don't want to put themselves at risk or put their loved ones at risk of becoming infected. Not because they are horrible people, but because they are loving people. They love themselves. They love their loved ones. They want to protect them. This is a good quality. This is a quality you want in a partner. Maybe people just don't like the sound of barking because they are introverted. I have to make a video about introverts versus extroverts. Our society is set up to cater to extroverts. Susan Cain gives a wonderful TED Talk about the power of introverts that I urge you to watch. In my video about barking, the deleterious effects of exposure to chronic barking, it's called, I provided evidence and talked about how introverts appear to have more trouble coping with unwanted noise and with barking. And I really think, and I think I should do some sort of poll, but I think that introverted people in general have a harder time with dogs, with their needy, excited, hyperactive behaviors, and the constant intrusion into our personal space. This is very difficult for a lot of introverts to manage. I will discuss that in a future video. Maybe a person is just very sensitive and is driven crazy, literally, by the jarring, repetitive sound of barking dogs. Maybe the person simply doesn't like the needy behavior. Maybe they don't like having a dog following them around because they don't feel the need to be the center of another creature's universe. Maybe they are so secure within themselves. Maybe they love themselves so much that they don't need another creature up their ass constantly, licking them, staring at them, following them around to make them feel that they are loved or important. Maybe they're not so obsessed with this idea of unconditional love because they're okay with themselves, because they have rewarding human relationships, because they are so emotionally and mentally healthy that they are able to engage in human relationships and not be disappointed, not be let down continually because they're healthy. I think the people who are always banging on about how dogs will never let you down, never stab you in the back or whatever, and are therefore better than humans, are not only lacking in critical thinking skills, they are lacking in social skills, are emotionally and mentally damaged, probably because of the way they were raised, and as a result are attracting the wrong kinds of people. They are attracting other sick people. And what these people need to do is get themselves into therapy and work through their issues. Dogs are better than humans is a ridiculous thing to say because dogs can't understand what you're saying. You can't confide in a dog. A dog doesn't understand your language. You can't share your interests or hobbies or values with a dog. A dog doesn't know what the hell you're talking about. It's like trying to have a relationship with a stuffed animal. Sure, your stuffed animal won't cheat on you or stab you in the back because it can't. Dogs can't let you down. The only thing they're capable of doing is begging for food. That's it. That's not even a relationship. These relationships people supposedly have with their dogs are delusions. They are imaginary. They're based in fantasy. These people are not dealing with reality. It's actually really, really sad, and someone needs to tell these people that they are delusional. See my video called Loyalty Gone Wrong. A dog will never, ever, ever be able to provide you with loyalty, faithfulness, understanding, support, companionship, trust, respect. Nothing, nothing. A dog can't do any of that. And mental health professionals are failing miserably when they recommend people get dogs to deal with their anxiety and depression. They should be getting to the root of these people's problems instead of trying to put a band-aid on a broken leg. People need to be talking to other people. They need to be fostering genuine relationships, real relationships, based in reality, not fantasy. And we need to call these people out at every turn. When we see this nonsense that dogs are better than humans, call it out. People need to wake up. We need to snap these people out of their stupor. This is ridiculous and so sad. A person who is at ease with themselves and who is stable and healthy does not need the attention of a dog. Maybe a person doesn't need a dog to deal with their psychiatric issues because they have no psychiatric issues. Maybe not liking dogs is the mark of a healthy person. Or maybe they have gone through therapy and they have found other ways to cope with life, ways which do not involve terrorizing their neighbors or terrorizing the entire neighborhood with their dogs barking or polluting the entire community with their dogs' piss and shit. Maybe they just have a degree of respect for others that dog people lack. Maybe they are so aware of the damage dogs do that they don't wish to inflict that kind of suffering on others. Maybe they are so conscientious, so respectful, so kind, and so caring that they want dogs banned because they see how destructive dogs are. In the Canine Aversion Facebook group, people have been posting stories, personal stories of how dogs have ruined their relationships. And I'm not only talking about romantic partners, like I said, dogs are ruining friendships. A lot of people have told me they've lost friends because they voiced their dislike for dogs, or because they simply don't want to go over and visit their friends anymore because the friends let their dogs jump all over them and expect them to tolerate it. Or they say they've lost Facebook friends. People have unfollowed them and unfriended them because they shared irrefutable scientific evidence and facts about dogs that these dog worshippers don't want to acknowledge. Dogs are also destroying our relationships with family members. This person commented that their mother decided that her mutt going to the groomer was more important than loaning this person $50 for antibiotics for a severe kidney infection. What? This is their mother. I can't believe what I'm reading. This person had no insurance at the time and would have paid their mother back. Instead, they ended up in hospital on IV antibiotics. You just have to look through the comments on my videos to read stories, comments left by kids. I get messages, kids messaging me, telling me that they've locked themselves in their room for days and the parents don't even check on them. They could be dead for all the parents know. The parents don't care. Yet, they don't miss a beat when it comes to feeding the dog or taking the dog out for a walk. They care more about the dog than the children, and the children are devastated. They are in deep depressions because of this. It breaks my heart. I'm heartbroken by all this information I get, all these messages people write. I just can't believe this is going on, and I don't understand how this is not recognized as a mental illness. These poor kids need to be nurtured by their parents, but they're not being nurtured by their parents, while the dogs are being nurtured. This is so crazy. And these kids, I tell them, get out of there as soon as you can. I wish I could find the comment or message right now, but someone told me that for a while, the parents had no dog. Their dog died or something, and they went through a period where the family had no dog. And during that period, the parents were attentive. They were spending time with this young person, and they felt loved by their parents. And then when they brought a dog into the house after, I don't know what it was, a few months or something, or a year or whatever, the parents reverted back to their old behavior of doting on the dog while neglecting the child. Oh, I wish I could find that screenshot for you all. But if you're hearing this person who, I'm addressing the person who left that message, please comment in the comments and tell us about your story. And I invite all of you to leave your experiences down below in the comments so others can read them. I want this to be a collection of your stories so people can realize how sick your family members are being so obsessed with these fanged scavengers. But not just family members. I invite you all to share your experiences, whether they involve family members, romantic partners, friends, whatever. I really would love you to share your experience in the comments. Someone wrote this in the Canine Aversion group that broke my heart too. Their nephew has 2 young girls. They want to spend time with these girls. They want to go over and visit, but their relationship with these girls has been ruined by a dog. They used to visit, they used to enjoy going over and spending time with the girls, but now they can't because the family chooses to keep this useless, worthless beast. Worthless because it's never ever going to compose music, create films, produce beautiful works of art to beautify our living spaces. It's never going to coach a soccer team. It's never going to grow crops. I've talked about this so many times. It's never going to make any positive contributions to our society. And therefore, it does not deserve our nurturing. It does not deserve our resources. It does not deserve our time and our energy because it is completely worthless. Anyway, they don't go over anymore because this useless, worthless beast is shitting all over the yard, has dug holes all over the yard, destroyed the garden. Who wants to go and sit in that filth? And every time they go over to visit, this disgusting mutant is sticking its snout in their face every minute. It's constantly up their ass in their personal space, being a menace, being a nuisance. Who wants to subject themselves to that? And this is just one story. How many others? I believe this is an epidemic. I believe this is happening so often, and that so many people are missing out on what could be rewarding, joyous relationships. Why? Because people are brainwashed to keep these disgusting, worthless creatures in their homes. Another member of the group wrote in a response, "Talk about ruining precious memories and potentially precious moments. To no longer be able to have those fun moments with those kids only because of that dog is no small thing. Those opportunities are gone forever." Flower Power asked if I'd heard of the YouTube channel called It's Me or the Dog. Yes, I've heard of it. I haven't been able to watch an entire video on that channel. Every time I try to watch a video on that channel, I feel physically sick. It sickens me. It is painful to watch, to see the degree of insanity, to see how just utterly crazy these people are, and how normal this has become, how widespread this sickness is. Makes me absolutely sick. But I've heard from others who have watched the videos that this channel clearly shows how dog ownership is ruining relationships. All of the time and energy wasted on these useless scavengers, predatory scavengers, pea-brained, instinct-driven shit-eaters, it could be spent on bettering society, on nurturing our young so that they grow up to be contributing members of society. It is such a disgraceful, disgusting waste of time and energy. All of the discord, the suffering, the chaos, the fighting, all of it is 100% unnecessary, completely preventable, yet they put up with it. It drives me nuts. I don't understand what is going on with these people. It's completely crazy. So yeah, check it out if you want to see how insane it is and just how these relationships are being destroyed needlessly. It's so simple. The answer is so simple. Just get rid of the thing. Nobody needs a dog. I made a video called "You Don't Need a Dog, Your Kids Don't Need a Dog." You don't need one. Get rid of it. It's so sad. So sad.
I can't get close to my mum. All the dogs are barking at me.
This family is being pulled apart by dogs.
I would never get rid of any of my dogs. I'd rather get rid of Sean and Alan.